Hello and welcome to the Carolina Panthers Football in My Mind podcast. I'm your host, Luke Farber, and what is in my mind today? Well, it's game day already. In fact, we're just like an hour and a half from kickoff, so I'm getting this in a little late, but I'm getting it in regardless. Just want to get something in. Anyway, I was on the road this week. Things were different, hectic, and I didn't get to do this until today. Next time I hit the road, I'll have a better plan and make sure I get something out sooner. But anyway, let's talk about last week's game at home against the Falcons. 38-20 loss, unfortunately. But we were in the game in the fourth quarter. We were within one score until 5 minutes to go. And against a good team, divisional opponent, especially with our depleted defense and depleted playmaking core, although, it wasn't overflowing to begin with. It's not horrible. It's competitive, which is good, but sitting at 1-5 just sucks. It just sucks. So, what happened last game? I think it's obvious Deontay is playing well as our number one receiver. He's got great hands. He's very shifty. He's not a super physical wide receiver, but it doesn't stop him from making a bunch of plays. Unfortunately, other than that, when it comes to the passing game, we got rookie after second year player after role player. There's just nobody else to take as much pressure off of it. Obviously, there's Chuba in the backfield, which, I mean, he's been balling out of control, but still, in my opinion, we aren't using him enough, especially when we were leaning on the Falcons all game. The Falcons' run defense is porous. The announcers are talking about how they're giving up 150 yards a game. And after the first quarter, which we struggled a little bit in, Chuba was ripping off 5 to 10 yard gains every time. And what the game came down to at the end of the game, because we forced the pass when we didn't need to, Dalton threw 2 interceptions in the last 5 minutes, which killed our opportunity, obviously. On that last drive, and we're down eight, or well, not last drive, but we're down 8. We're driving 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. We get inside the opponent's green zone. We're smashing them. We're running the ball for 5 to 10 yards a clip, and what do? They go play action. They throw an interception. The thing that I was impressed with the Falcons, especially following that drive, they had a 9-play drive, 70 something yards that ended in a touchdown that basically put the game out of reach with 5 minutes to go. They ran the ball down our throats. And when they had the opportunity to throw it on first down or third down, they still ran it. And they picked up first downs and they scored a touchdown by leaning on our depleted defensive line that couldn't stop them. As the inverse, I see that as we didn't take advantage of their weaknesses and our greatest strengths, which is run blocking and Chuba Hubbard taking it to the defense. If we have a shot against Washington today, it's because the running game is going full throttle. Anyway, to wrap up the Atlanta game, yeah, our defense is depleted. Luckily, we're getting Dane Jackson back today. We'll see if that helps the secondary out. I think we're still without Clowney, so we really got to have somebody on the defensive line step up. If this defense is going to be able to keep the games close, the defensive line has to play better. Period. And it's a league of no excuses. Even though we're injured, we're down to our second, third, and fourth strings. We're pulling up players from the practice squad. We're pulling in players from the street. That is our lack of depth showing, absolutely. But somebody's got to step up. Next man up. Let's get some pressure. Let's channel our inner pep, and let's get after Jayden Daniels today. Moving on to Washington, rookie phenom, quarterback, a team full of veterans, a team full of a roster that a lot of people questioned whether they had the talent or not. Well, when it comes down to it, if you've got a playmaking quarterback who's accurate and can make you right, especially one that can run around, it's going to elevate the play of everybody on your team. Everybody has hope. The defense is not on the field as much. They're usually playing with a lead. You know, that's what we hope to get in Bryce Young, but it hasn't happened yet. And if anybody doesn't know this, Jayden Daniels, the last year at LSU and this year for Washington, has been hooked up with this virtual reality headset system to learn the playbook and to go through plays and to increase processing time. If Bryce isn't on that yet, he should be wearing it in his sleep. Every quarterback should. Take note, league, and I'm sure they will. Anyway, it's going to be a long day if the defense can't get some sort of pressure on Daniels. He's deadly accurate. He can run around, and he's not looking to escape the pocket to run all the time. He's looking to find that guy downfield, and he's very good at it. He's very composed. He's very smooth. He's very accurate. Terry McLaurin will be a problem for us all day long. How JC, Dane Jackson, Hill, everybody match up with McLaurin specifically is going to matter, and how that communication in the back end, which has been very hit or miss this year, is going to determine a lot when it comes to the big plays in this game. Now, what I was saying before, if we want to keep him on the sideline and we want to keep those big plays to a minimum, run the ball. I mean, run it 40, 45 times. I mean, we're good enough to do it. And Washington's defense is not their strength. Run the ball down their throats. Keep Jayden Daniels on the sideline. Make sure that our depleted defense doesn't get completely tired out by the end of the game. And who knows? Maybe we can run the ball in with 5 minutes to go to tie this game and then take a lead or finish the game off in overtime. Or maybe Dalton will have learned from his mistake of pressing last week and won't do that this week. We'll see. Can we learn from our mistakes? Can we correct them? I don't know. Our roster is limited. Our experience is limited. It's great to see Xavier Legette making some plays, and I think that is going to continue. But without Adam Thielen there in the receiving core, Deontay is really our only guy with significant experience. If we're going to make some big plays, it's going to have to be through Johnson and Legette, probably off a play action. But we just need to keep feeding the ball to Chuba. I mean, last game, the play action worked early because Falcons were anticipating us running the ball. Play action didn't work as well during the middle of the game because we actually weren't running the ball very well. And then all of a sudden we start running it and we're doing it great. And then we make a mistake in the passing game. So those mistakes are going to have to be cleaned up for us to get a win today against Washington. Shout out to my boy Mark, one of my best friends from high school. He's been a Washington fan his whole life, moved from Maryland to the West Coast in high school. And I hope you lose today, buddy. But I don't think it's going to happen. Unfortunately, we're just too much wanting for talented players right now. And we haven't been able to fulfill our strategies to perform at our best to get the most out of a depleted roster and a roster that just doesn't have a whole lot of margin for error when it comes to getting victories right now. That's okay. We'll develop, but we want to win now. We don't want to sit through a 1-and-something season again. You give me a break. Anyway, it's going to be tough on it today. Daniels has shown that he is the real deal. He will still struggle at times. He's not going to be a Pro Bowl all-star player forever from the very beginning without struggling. At least I think so. I think CJ Stroud is in for some struggles at some point as well. You know, good young quarterbacks don't always just hit the ground running and then not take a step back here and there, except if you're named Mahomes. Anyway, what does it come down to today? Those coordinated efforts on defense, run the football, don't turn it over. See if we can get one ourselves. I don't see it happening. It's going to be a long day with Jayden Daniels back there. I expect us to be competitive because we are. I think we will take this game into the second half, just like we have with every game since started, except for the Bears game, obviously. But at the end of the day, Daniels is going to be too much. 27-22 loss. But hey, let's keep seeing progress from Leggett, from the young defensive players, Wallace and company. And let's keep pounding. And who knows, maybe we find a way to sneak out a win today. Anyway, enjoy the game. Keep pounding. I'll get the pod out earlier next week. It happens. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll talk to you next week.